Welcome to Psychtrum. We're diving deep into some seriously creepy stuff today. Sleep disorders. Sleep is supposed to be a time of rest and recovery, but for some, it's a journey into the bizarre and terrifying. We're talking about the kind of stuff that'll make you want to sleep with the lights on, or maybe not sleep at all. Get ready to have your mind blown because we're about to hear some real-life stories that are straight out of a horror movie. Imagine this. You wake up in the middle of the night, but you can't move. You try to scream, but nothing comes out. You're totally paralyzed, and then you start to see things. Shadowy figures in the room. One story that stuck with me was about a guy named Mark. One night he woke up, heart pounding, unable to move. He saw a dark figure at the foot of his bed. Doctors say sleep paralysis is caused by a disconnect between your mind and body. Even knowing the science doesn't make it any less terrifying. Alright, so sleep paralysis is scary, right? But imagine suddenly falling asleep, like anywhere, anytime, without warning. That's the daily reality for people with narcolepsy. I read this one story about a girl named Sarah who had narcolepsy. She was a bright and bubbly teenager, but her condition made it almost impossible to live a normal life. Sarah would fall asleep in the middle of class during meals, even while walking down the street. And it's not just the sleep attacks that are a problem. People with narcolepsy often experience something called cataplexy, a sudden loss of muscle control triggered by strong emotions. Living with a sleep disorder like this takes serious strength and a good sense of humor. Sarah's story is a reminder that even though life can throw some curveballs, there are always ways to adapt and find joy. Imagine this. You're sound asleep, dreaming about fighting off zombies, and then you wake up throwing punches at your partner. That's the reality for people with REM Sleep Behavior Disorder, or RBD. Bob, a retired firefighter, started experiencing RBD in his late 50s. One night, his wife woke up to find him yelling and thrashing around in bed. He even punched her in the face hard. RBD is often linked to other neurological disorders, like Parkinson's disease. It shows how unpredictable and powerful our brains can be, even when we're resting. We've all heard the stories about people sleepwalking, right? Wandering around the house in a daze, raiding the fridge. But in reality, sleepwalking can be pretty dangerous. I read about a woman named Emily who had a history of sleepwalking. One night, her neighbors heard strange noises, banging, crashing. They found Emily covered in paint, a wild look in her eyes. Sleepwalking might seem harmless, but it can be dangerous. Alright guys, we've all had those nights where we just can't seem to fall asleep, right? Tossing and turning, staring at the ceiling. But imagine that feeling, that utter exhaustion every single night. That's the reality for people who suffer from insomnia. I read this heartbreaking story about a guy named Michael who had been struggling with chronic insomnia for years. He was a successful lawyer, always on the go, working long hours, but his inability to sleep was slowly destroying his life. Michael would lie in bed for hours, his mind racing, unable to shut off the constant stream of thoughts. Insomnia isn't just about feeling tired. It's a real medical condition that can have devastating effects on every aspect of a person's life. If you're struggling with insomnia, know that you're not alone, and there is help available. Alright guys, let's talk about night terrors. Now this isn't your average bad dream. We're talking about full-blown, heart-pounding, scream-inducing episodes of terror that strike in the middle of the night. I remember hearing this story about a little boy named Ethan who started experiencing night terrors when he was just 4 years old. Ethan was a happy, playful kid, but at night something terrifying would take over. His parents would be woken up by his blood-curdling screams, only to find Ethan sitting up in bed, eyes wide with fear. Night terrors are most common in children, but they can affect adults too. They often occur during deep sleep, and unlike nightmares, people usually don't remember them the next day. Ethan's story is a reminder that sleep disorders can affect anyone, even the youngest among us. So, there you have it guys, 6 of the strangest and scariest sleep disorders out there. We've covered everything from sleep paralysis and narcolepsy to REM sleep behavior disorder and night terrors. These stories remind us that sleep, something we often take for granted, can be a mysterious and sometimes frightening part of our lives. Have you or someone you know ever experienced a sleep disorder? Let me know in the comments below. I'm dying to hear your stories. And if you found this video interesting, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel for more mind-blowing content and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Until next time, sweet dreams. Or not.